If you didn't watch the Collegiate Duals, you missed out. How's it going, everybody? My name is Jesse and welcome to my wrestling show where we talk about the greatest sport in the world. We just finished up the Collegiate Duals and they couldn't have been more fun and more entertaining. What an awesome 2 days of wrestling we had. Before I jump into the Penn State-Iowa State duel and a lot of the other wrestling that took place, I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start making a little bit of money off of this channel. So if you wouldn't mind, your Christmas present to me could be hit that subscribe button, join this channel, and help me get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'd really appreciate it. Now let's talk about wrestling. I want to talk about some takeaways, what we learned, what we saw, and what this could mean for the rest of the wrestling season. At 141 pounds, I am starting to get on the Bo Bartlett train. Coming into the season, I was a little bit soft on him due to his lack of offense up at 149. It does look like the weight change from 149 down to 141 was a huge benefit from him. I was super disappointed we didn't get to see Casey Swiderski at this event. That really would have told us a lot about both Casey Swiderski and Bo Bartlett. So Bo Bartlett still doesn't really have a top 15 win. I don't know that he'll ever be a huge scorer where he's scoring 10, 12, 15 points, but he's so consistent and he's very stingy. So I'm starting to think he's a real contender to really kind of be in that top 5, top 4 kind of guy at the end of the year. I still wouldn't pick him yet to win a national title or place in the top 3. I want to see him against a top 10 guy, but he's still on the right path. He's still undefeated. He's passed all of his check marks up to this point. At 149 pounds, this weight class continues to be so exciting. Real Budo from Northern Iowa beat Sammy Sasso. He got a big exchange where he put Sammy Sasso on his back for 4 back points, which ultimately helped him win that match. So big upset there. Okay, Pinero Johnson, Yianni Diakomihalis, Shane Van Ness. What did we learn? I am now a Pinero Johnson believer. I was still unsure, even after the Max Murin match. I still wasn't sure. Now that I've seen him versus Yianni and Shane Van Ness, I'm a Pinero Johnson believer. He's here. He's ready to compete. He wants to win a national title this year. So I want to dive into this clip really quick. Pinero Johnson's legs just disappear completely when guys try to attack him. They just disappear. He's so fast reacting to a shot. I never thought I'd say this, but I feel like this was a little bit of a bad matchup for Yianni. Or I won't say bad matchup, but a challenging problem to solve for Yianni. Yianni doesn't tie up a ton, or at least he's more of a head touch guy, kind of will shoot from space. He's not always really in there hand fighting hard, pulling on the head. He's a hand touch, kind of get you out of position and create angles to get down into the legs. And I think that's a tough way to try to take down Pinero Johnson because he's so fast. So as we watch this clip, I want you to notice 2 things. How quickly Pinero Johnson reacts when Yianni shoots from space, and then the shot Yianni takes that ultimately gets him the takedown. So they're hand fighting here, and then Yanni's going to take a shot, and it's really a re-attack right here. He takes a shot. Look, Pinero Johnson's legs. I want to watch that again. Just watch how quickly he reacts. He shoots, and they're just gone. So he's trying to shoot from space there on a re-attack, and now he gets the final takedown from an underhook position. So Pinero Johnson will shoot here. Yianni catches him in a front headlock. Yianni will eventually dig in the underhook. So he shoots in. He digs in the underhook, and when Pinero jumps in, There's no space. He goes right to the same side leg and is ultimately able to get behind him. If you're wrestling Pinero Johnson, I don't think you can shoot from space. You got to get in there and hand fight, get an underhook. Yanni got that underhook, and he didn't have to shoot from space. That was an awesome match. Pinero Johnson looks great. Obviously, later, Pinero Johnson wrestled Shane Van Ness. He looked pretty tough again. Not much happened in the match. A lot of really, really tough hand fights. Here he gets a really, really nice throw-by takedown versus Shane Van Ness. So what did we learn about Shane Van Ness? If I'm a Penn State fan, I'm not that discouraged about Shane Van Ness's performance. He did lose the match, but I do feel like there is a path to victory there for him versus Pinero Johnson. Because coming into this tournament, Shane Van Ness didn't have a top 15 win. And I guess technically he still doesn't. But you were able to see him compete toe-to-toe with the third-ranked guy in the country who has beat Austin Gomez and went toe-to-toe with Yanni Diakomahales. The only concern you might have if you are a Penn State fan about Shane Van Ness is he never really got super deep on a leg attack versus Pinero Johnson. Pinero Johnson was able to get deep on Shane Van Ness a couple times. Van Ness was ultimately able to wrestle out of those positions. But Shane Van Ness, there was never a moment in the match where I felt like, oh man, Shane Van Ness may get this takedown, may convert this takedown. And so if there's one concern, that might be it. I do feel pretty confident about Shane Van Ness ending up on the podium at the end of the year based off what I saw this weekend from Shane Van Ness. Okay, moving on to 165 pounds. David Carr, he's really, really good. He's a national champ for a reason. Facundo versus David Carr, it was 4-2, but pretty controlled match for David Carr. He was never really threatened by Facundo at all. I never felt like David Carr was close to getting taken down. And so David Carr is David Carr. He's really, really good. Can't wait to see what he looks like in that Keegan O'Toole match. It's going to come up a couple times later on in the season. At 184 pounds, so a lot happened at this weight class. We had Aaron Brooks lose, Trent Hidley get pinned, and it really doesn't mean much from the grand scheme of things. If Aaron Brooks wins out, he's probably still the number 1 seed at the national tournament. If Parker Keckeisen wins out, he ends up being the 2 seed. If Trent Hidley wins out, he'll end up being the 3 seed. And then Marcus Coleman stays at the 4 seed because he already has a loss. And so a lot happened, but then nothing really changes. This was an interesting exchange between Aaron Brooks and Marcus Coleman. It was kind of like a Gator Bacon kick through roll. Aaron gets in pretty deep here, and he just kind of rolls through and puts Aaron Brooks right on his back. I do think Aaron Brooks was pinned, but I don't think it was such like an egregious non-pin call. Because I do think he was pinned for a second, but it wasn't 2 seconds. It wasn't like a blatant, he's flat on his back forever. The ref was right there looking at it. He probably should have called it. In the moment, watching it live, I said he's pinned, but then the action continued. He fought off his back, and I was like, well, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. And then Parker pinning Trent Hidley. Wow, that was a crazy exchange. Trent just got a little bit lackadaisical in that position, and Parker just locked up the cradle. Trent let his head probably get too close to his knee, rolled through and pinned him. And as an NC State fan, that was so disappointing. Obviously, that was before Aaron Brooks loses. But if Trent wins that match, Trent has a path to get the 1 seed at the national tournament. But it is what it is. He'll learn from it and move on and be better for it. 197 and 149, they just keep battling back and forth to be the wildest, craziest weight class. Everybody is beating everybody at 197. This past weekend at the Collegiate Duals, Trumbull pinned Bernie Truax. Here you can see Bernie Truax gets a nice win and victory over Michael Beard. Michael Beard later major decisions Trumbull. And then on the other side, you have Max Dean, who has already lost to Ethan Laird, and Michael Beard beats younger Bastida. And so everyone's beating everyone. It's going to be a mess all year long, but it's making the weight class really, really fun. So that Max Dean younger Bastida match, I want to go through this clip here really quick. I did like Max Dean to win this match. I feel like this is a bad matchup for younger Bastida. Max Dean was not going to take a shot, nor should he have tried to take a shot. Max Dean is so good at defending when people attack his legs, and with Younger's ability in the past to struggle getting off bottom, Max Dean was probably like, I don't have to shoot. You have to shoot. I'm just going to ride you out for the third period, or I'll beat you 1-0 if you take neutral, because you're not going to ride me. And so it forces younger Bastida to shoot. Now, younger Bastida did take bottom in the third period and escape, but if he wasn't down 3-0, he may not take bottom there. It was risky. It worked out this time, but there's no guarantee he's going to be able to escape from a guy like Max Dean every single time. And so it puts the pressure on younger Bastida to really have to go attack Max Dean, who's really, really good at defending when guys are on his legs. For example, this clip here, younger Bastida gets pretty deep. Like, he's pretty deep on Max Dean's leg. He's got the ankle, he's up into his hips, but still Max Dean, he's able to grab that far ankle, kind of go through and then he's able to do this near side roll through to flatten out Younger. And then Younger just has no power, and at this point, it's just a matter of time for Max Dean to convert and get the takedown. 197 is going to continue to be crazy because you still have Jacob Warner, who lost to younger Bastida. Younger Bastida lost to Max Dean. Max Dean lost to Michael Beard. Michael Beard lost to Bernie Truax. Bernie Truax lost to Isaac Trumbull. Trumbull lost to Beard. Ethan Laird beat Max Dean. Nino Bonacorsi beat Michael Beard. It's a mess, but it makes for a really, really fun weight class. That's what I got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, give me a Christmas gift, subscribe, and let's build a community around the sport that we love. And we'll see you in the next video.